Kuckuck. Hallöle. So yesterday, blue, green shirt, green, blue shirt, greenish blue. Don't nail me on the exact color, and it was semi-transparent. This shirt now is blue, blue, and I still am transparent. So maybe, just maybe, we switch back to black shirts, shall we? Um, not live on stream, but so it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and we're streaming. And let's re. It's still too dark. I need to work on the lighting of this. See my shadow. Ooh, this looks having too much fun. It's Wednesday, and we're streaming. Why? This was supposed to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So it's October 16th. And the plan was to have this experiment run till the end of October. And if I look at Mike here in the view, so sorry about that, but I want you to have good audio. If we look at what we still have to do, I mean, we made amazing progress, right? From scratch, and we have a Unity and Godot version working. We still have a bit of work to do just to finish the work, and then we need to polish it. And actually, the goal was to have one of the two versions, still undecided if the Godot or Unity version, in a store. And I was hoping to have it in Steam, and that store page is getting an app. I mean, getting an app on itch is like a 5-minute job. Getting an app into the Apple Store is like Apple App Store is like half an hour. Getting an app on the Google Play Store is like an hour, and getting an app into Steam, that 50 gazillion tabs and settings and upload tools, and I have no idea. That probably will take 3 or 4 days. But I still have that deadline of end of October for having a version. And with a version, as usual, I mean parity with the Rust version that we released quite a bit ago. Right, so parity with this. We're getting there, right? We have the dialog, and there's not a lot in there. Oh, okay, let's turn this off. We have the settings, we have the pause working, we have the scrolling and the collection working, and the collection actually already is nicer, so, and ignore the ugly mouse pointer, right? I was hoping to have at least a minimal coin shop, but I didn't say we have a fully featured v3 in store, right? Let's have a parity version in store. And we still need the background, and we don't have music or sound, so... And then we have to package this whole bloody thing. So there's still a lot of work to do, which leads me to let's get started, right? Last time we worked on the result dialog, and actually you see this here already. And the hookup and everything is working. It's just not looking good enough, right? So we want to change that, and we added a small hack. Let me actually collect a few coins so we have something to count up. We have something to count up. So we have a few coins, right? And if I die, this counts up and this should count down. And we talked about that. It should be fast, but not too fast. So probably 1 second per digit. So up to 10 coins, 1 second, up to 100 coins, 2 seconds, up to 1,000 coins, 3 seconds. And then 10,000 coins take 6 seconds, right? It should not drag on forever. It should not be 10,000 times as long, but it should give you the reward of, yeah, I collected a lot of coins and now I earn a lot, right? So that total time is a factor there. And then obviously I also want to have like a curve. So it starts slow, then it goes faster, and in the end it eases out, right? And the nice thing is we have a fixed time. And instead of saying 1 to 10 seconds, we just say the curve is from 0 time to 100% of the time. So we can stretch that. And we have the amount, right? And the amount, we don't care if it's 1 coin or a million coins. It's it's 0 to 100% of that amount. And so let me, which screen do we use? And I'm probably gonna, I'm sorry, I'm gonna black you out for a minute, because I don't know what's the last document I have open in Krita, right? The usual problem. Is my pencil working? Is my is actually haha haha yes, allow. Yes, allow. Yeah. Okay. Let's create a new image, right? Just something to scribble in. And here we go, right? Let's see if my pen is not working. Oh, it is. So obviously I haven't used this in a while. So where is the problem? Oh, we're in pixel art, right? We just want a normal brush. Something just to scribble, right? This looks good. So this looks also good. So what we said is we have our time, right? This is time. And then we have our value, right? And both of these are from 0 to 1, right? And then what you would normally do, you would just count up. But what I really want is something that kind of starts slow, goes up fast, and then slows down again, right? And that's what we're gonna do today. And probably we gonna create a little helper object for that, right? Because we have 4 of these and they should behave in different ways. So we need to calculate the length, the total duration of this thing, and I probably just set it to 10 seconds for now. And then create these things. So I'm thinking about actually cheating a little bit. So I mean, we're going to cheat a tiny bit, right? We're going to cheat a tiny bit and forget this image. But in the game manager, where do we hand in the game manager? Is it the fish? I want to give us like a few thousand coins, right? Just to have something to collect. It must be the game manager, right? This needs some serious cleanup. So we have update pickups, and when we update a pickup, we get the coin value somewhere here, right? We just add to coins. So what I will do in update, if input get key down, and can we just do C for coins, right? Key code. We have key down in the project, right? Oh, double quotes. It needs a string, not a... We just say coins plus equals 100, right? Just get some free coins, and remind me to remove that cheat. And actually, before we start this, we do the same for distance, right? So right, so we just add 100 meters whenever we press D. Let's see if we completely broke this thing. So let's get some coins and let's get some distance and kill. And you see now we have the, yeah, it's counting, 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 counting. So and it keeps counting and counting and counting and counting and counting, right? I mean, I can just click it away, but that's not very satisfactory. So what I want in the result dialog, and these need to be if deft somehow, but for now. So this is the preparation, right? And we had this hack of having the target and the current. And I think I want to initialize a helper object with a start value, the end value, and then the ease. Basically, I want to give the object these two values, right? This, and this. So 4 values. So basically this and this where we're done. And this might not be 0 to 1. This might be staggered along the path, right? So I need something. And what do we call this something? Names are hard, right? I wanted like a okay, easing functions. And I'm pretty sure there's a ready-made library, easings.net. So basically that's good, right? I was something that is an eased value. Let's call it eased value, right? Let's call it eased value, and let's call it eased integer, right? Because a float is kind of, we internally use a float, but let's call it eased integer. Bad name probably, but that's what we're going to stick with, right? So create script and call it eased integer, right? East int, east uint. Let's call it east integer, and maybe we handle negative values later, right? So the thing is, what's the behavior we want, right? So the behavior we want, it's not a mono behavior. It has nothing to do with Unity, right? Everything that's Unity related is just gone. And all of this is gone, right? So let's make the public signature. So we have an east integer constructor, right? And that gets 4 things. That gets a float start time, float end time, float, and here's an int start value, right? And an int end value. And we have a public enum function. What do we call this here? Easing function. Maybe we call it easing function, because function is just such a overloaded word, right? And our default easing function is just the, do we have it just a linear? Do we just have a linear? No, we don't. We don't. So let's get back to this, right? This S curve thing here. So let's just ease in out sign. Oh, maybe this helps. So start slow. Maybe this is not good enough, right? Maybe we want ease in out cubic, right? We want this. Start slow and then maybe we want even. I mean, we don't want a bounce, right? We don't want a bounce. We don't want the double bounce. I think we probably want either this. Let's go with a cubic. Let's go with this one, right? And the mass function is just here. We'll copy that in a second. For now, we just call in-out cubic. In-out cubic, right? And this gets a easing function, right? So this is our constructor. We just create this thing. And then what we want is a public int get for time, right? And this is just float time. We could pass in the easing function here all the time, but that would be a bit of overkill. So let's just start with linear, right? And again, we could overload here, but private easing function, that autocomplete was not 100%, right? And for now, we just start all the, restore all the values, right? We don't do any pre-calc. We just do the full calculation at the time, right? And here, I'm gonna do one trick, right? We make this a float and value. So start time is start time, end time is end time, start value is float, right? End value is float, and easing function is the easing function, right? And this just returns, I don't know, 0 for now. That is our interface, and we'll fill that out, right? So this is an east interface. It drives me crazy that this highlight is not the file I have selected here. I'm not sure why. Okay, so our result dialog, right? Our result dialog has a private east integer, and we call this coin total value, right? Coin total. Just bear with me. So when we go to the target state, right, we have to do a bit of magic here, right? We have the coins, and we don't have the player yet, but that's a fixable problem. So we start from there, 0, right? So var start coins, and this is to do, right? To do get from player. And then we say coin total. Coins or coin? We called it coins, right? We called it coins. Coins total equals east integer, right? And we have a start time and an end time and a start coins and start coins plus the collected coins, right? And the easing function. Let's just do linear for the moment, right? Obviously, we don't have start and end time, so let's just say start time is 0 and end time is, let's say 10 seconds, right? Just to make it bloody obvious. And probably we need to do a new here. Yeah, the constructor needs to be public, right? So that's our coins total. So now when we update, instead of doing this, right? If we update, so we need the current time, right? We need the current time. So let's say private float time, right? And when we start doing this, we say time equals 0.0, right? We start dying. The time we started dying is the time the dialog pops up. So in update, so we could do this all the time, right? We could let's just do this all the time and then protect it against not running when we don't need it. So time is increased by the delta time, right? It's how long has this screen been open? And then var coins total is coins total no get for time, and that autocomplete is good, right? And then we just say set total to coins total, right? And this will set it to 0 now, right? So we forget all the other complicated stuff. We forget, well, we forget this. And actually, let's count up. Let's cheat a bit, right? Let's say start coins is 100, just so to see the difference. So if I press Unity, and this is something we can reuse, right? So it's an investment well worth right now. So I get killed, and my value is 0, obviously, right? Because match. No, it's switch, right? Wrong language. Easing function. Case easing function linear. So if the easing function is linear, right? We let's not do any. Actually, let's be a bit clean, right? Let's have a private int. Oh, my screen just went off. Get linear for time float, right? And here we just say return get linear for time. Right? So this here is simply the start plus the slope, right? So, okay. So, and we could pre-calc all of these, but I mean, I like the autocompletion here. I was going to do it different, but this is basically how far we are on the time, right? So this is a percentage of time we have used. So this is just normalizing it to 0, and this is dividing by the duration, right? So if start time is end time, we're in trouble. This says how far along this we are in percent. And then we have the float. And actually, let's call this x, right? Flow is start value plus x times end value, right? How far we go. And then obviously we return int. Well, I think we can just do mass f floor. Is it floor to int? Right, so this is just a standard linear thing. I'm tempted to cheat a little bit here to make it more tests. So I would write a unit test for this, but I have no idea how to do a unit test in Unity. Probably have an extra C# project. So let's get some coins, right, and some distance and kill. And you see it just counts up. And after about 10 seconds, it is at 600. It should clip. We didn't add the clipping, right? So what we need to do here is mass f dot. Do we have a clamp? Clamp 0 to 1. We want values between 0 and 1, right? If it's too early, we just use the start value. If it's too late, we just use the end value. Now let's try this once more. Few coins. And actually, let's get a few thousand coins, right? Because it should still be 10 seconds. Okay. It just counts faster, right? It's still like kind of, I'm not measuring this, but it's 10 seconds. And then it stops at, oh yeah, it stops at 100 plus this value, right? And if we do it again and just have 100 coins, it still takes the 10 seconds. So that 10 seconds is nice, right? We calculate the duration later. The thing is, I could just do another counter for this, but this and this is basically the same. So I'm gonna actually do it slightly different, right? So instead of doing new coins here, coins total here, we say coins gained, right? We rename this real quick, coins gained. And we have here coins gained. And that is basically the start value is coins. Right, is coins, and the end value is 0. We just count down the coins gained. Right, we don't need the start coins in this case, but we don't want to set the total. We want to set the current, right? And this is coins gained, and you'll see why in a second. I could just refactor this or just manually fix this, right? So we're starting counting down the other value. Instead of counting this up, we count this down. All right, so let's gain a few coins and kill, and that value is counting down, right? This is moving to the left. And then all we have to do is on the left add the delta, right? So we need the coins target. I want the coins target, right? Because the coins target, we're going a bit over the place here, right? But the coins target is coins, is start coins plus this autocomplete is sometimes super helpful and sometimes just broken, right? This is the current displayed value. And this is basically, we do this. Actually, we don't even need to floor it because we're gonna make it oh, we want coins target, right? Not coins current, coins target. And coins target is basically the coins here, right? Minus coins gained. So by this, we ensure that they always add up, no matter how we round or anything, right? And that means the coins current we don't need. So this is our helper, and this is actually the target. I could just have a second easing function that has the opposite behavior, but then we might get into rounding troubles, right? And here the autocompletion didn't help me. Let's just use ints, right? We don't care about that one bit of extra range. We just don't. Now let's gain a few coins, like 1,000, and this is going down and this is going up, and they should add up to 1,600 at every given time, right? It's a bit hard to see because plus I think when this is 0, I just want it to be gone. So let's make that happen. Let's fix the 1 and then we do the others, right? So if coins gained not 0, right? Then the default case, we do this, and else we just set it to nothing, right? I mean, this is almost there. Come on, almost there. Bear with me. All right, so get a few coins, kill, and it's counting down. And maybe maybe 100 is too much, right? But this totals to 1,100, 1,101, and then empties out, right? And the nice thing is, by having this start and end time here, right? We could just say, what if we start halfway in? Well, what if we want to start this 5 seconds in, right? Just like a delay. And this will become clear when we count multiple things, so they kind of are staggered. But we don't have the code plastered all over the place, right? So we can just, I mean, I hate talking over Unity being slow. Right, so after 5 seconds, it should start. After about 5 seconds, it should start, and then take the remaining 5 seconds, right? So we can have, if we go here real quick, instead of having like that's a nice color for coins, right? So instead of having the coins count up like this, we just have them count up like here, and then we have the distance. Maybe the distance counts up like here, right? So the different values have different timings, and that's we can just do by defining a start time here and a different end time here, and that's all we have to do. And by that we make it look nicer. And that's very important because this is the most important screen in the game. So, but I want to do that other easing function, right? That other easing function, and that should be pretty in-out cubic, right? In-out cubic, which is not implemented, right? So I'm just gonna say get, and let's these names here are pretty standard, so we just use the same system, right? Only we don't need the. I'm a fan of the explicit break, but so the thing is, our axis here, right? And this does not look too bad. So if x is, so the first half is just this quadratic, and the second half is the opposite. So and this gives us values between 0 and 1, right? So this is our replacement for x, right? Let's do this slightly different just for readability. This is this, right? This is just our t, and this is probably mass f, pow f, pow. Right, and then we can just use t here. T is p percentage progress. Yeah, t I don't like because some people might think it's time, but it's not, right? So this is getting into range from 0 to 1 for the time. For the x, this is getting the mapped value, and this is scaling the value to our thing, right? I'm not sure. Use var. No, I don't want to use var. I want to use floats here just so you don't mess it up, right? So in theory, it should start slow, accelerate, and slow down again, but let's see. Mass, right? Coins. Let's get a lot of coins. Let's kill. Oh, we still have the 5-second limit. Maybe we want to remove that. So it accelerates, and then at the end it slowed down again. It was a bit hard to see. Maybe go back to 10 seconds, but it was definitely there. We're gonna do a cheat, right? We're gonna do a little cheat. So let's do this. And we have the distance thing anyway, right? So we're gonna abuse the distance. All right, so we have a private east in integer distance gained. We need to do that anyway, right? So right here, right after this, we're just gonna use distance gained, right? Distance gained, and we're gonna use the coins. We're gonna use the coins, right? We're gonna use the coins, and we're gonna use the same timing and everything for the moment, because I'm just gonna copy this, right? And this is wait. This is distance gained, right? And this is distance gained. Distance result row. Right? The same. And I'm not gonna add meters here because it's coins again, right? And this is basically we just do it like this, right? So we should have both values, one linear and one easing. And we're abusing basically this row here. I'm not sure what I said just said made sense, but we want to get this game out of the door. So let's polish it. So we swim, swim, swim. We get a few thousand coins, right? Oh, yeah. Obviously we still need this, right? Because I was watching the left value, and maybe we make this even slower. Let's say 30 seconds, right? It's a nice thing by having one variable controlling all of us. We can stretch it as we want. And now we should be able to see the different easing functions, right? Let's have a few thousand coins. I should have put that on press instead of. Right, so this just counts linear, and this accelerates and then slows down again. And this here, I mean, if you look at this, just from the feeling, which line feels better, right? Is this easing just feels much better, and so we're gonna stick with that. But the nice thing is we already kind of have the, I mean, we have the meters, right? So all we have to do is say, hey, meters, right? And this is basically, let's call this distance. Right, var distance, and this is basically this. So I'm not sure what just happened. Looks like there was a spike in the stream. Seems to be working again. So basically we do the same for the system distance, right? And this obviously this is wrong. So we we have the distance here, right? So we have a start distance, and let's say that's 1000. Right, and the start coins are actually not used. Well, they're used here, right? So you say distance target is start distance plus distance. Right, that the same, and here we just say we use the distance, and we also use the in-out cubic, right? Basically just copy and paste. We don't to const. Oh, yes, we could, but I want to make this dynamic, so So we do the same for the distance, right? We count the distance and the coins at the same time, and they have different values. So that should already work, kind of. So let's collect some coins and some distance, right? More coins than distance and kill. And now this is counting up, right? And this is counting up, and both are easing. I'm not sure why there was something weird going on. So independent of the value, they start and stop at the same time, right? And I'm not happy with that non-monospaced font. I'm not sure how to fix that because I want to stick with that font. But let's check something, right? Where's the 98 coming from? I did something wrong, right? We have start distance of 1000. Oh. Okay, we're not using the distance target, right? We're still using the coins target here. We're using the coins target, and we should use the distance target. All right, so let's try this again. And then we make it fancy, and then we add the last two, and then I check why the stream is stable now. So, okay, few coins, a bit of distance, but more coins than distance, and then I kill. And it starts counting up slow, right? It starts counting up slow. And then it goes fast. And then after 30 seconds, we made that intentionally long, right? We made that intentionally long. We slow both of them down. And it's kind of not, it kind of feels okay, but I want to pull one more thing, right? So, no. Right, so I want the coins to end at about, let's say 50%, just for showing you this thing, right? And I want the distance to start at 0.5 duration, right? Duration, right? So we end, where's the double coming into play? Oh, here. So we end the coins at the halfway mark and start the distance at the halfway mark. This way we have something happening all the time. Like waiting for Unity beach ball. I mean, I haven't seen that beach ball in years, and now that I'm using Unity again, I constantly see it. That's not what we want, but it is what it is. So, distance, coins, and both are not round numbers, right? And kill. So the coins start counting. And when the coins are done, obviously we're not going to do 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds is kind of insane. The coins are done. And now that kind of gives like we start with the first, we do the second, and so on, right? And that looks nice, but we can make it even look nicer because we can do some overlap, right? So what if the coins stop at 70% and the distance starts at 30%, right? So instead of having 1 and then 2, we have 1, 2. And yes, I'm putting too much effort in this screen, but this is a reward screen for the player, so I want to at least have it. And guess what? We're going to do the bling, 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 while the coins are changing. Yes, we will. So again, coins, distance. Oh, so happy for that sheet. Right, so coin start. At some point, the distance. Did I do this the wrong way around? I think I messed that up actually. So yes, the coins should end later, right? So I made the coins too fast. I'm gonna ignore this for now. Sorry that. So again, once more with a feeling, right? Coins, distance, and the coins start, and at some point the distance starts, right? Like it's a little bit delayed, and then the coins are done, then the distance keeps going, and that's like nice, right? So that leaves these two values, right? Cos. I mean, the last value is kind of, wait. This is actually the wrong field, right? Because this is current distance. And this is longest distance, right? So it shouldn't add the start distance. So this should be the, but I want to move these three in sync, right? So this is best distance. So this should always be the higher of the best distance and this, right? So let's fix this. And again, we just say, and this is not a target, right? This is just the best distance. So, and the best distance is just, let's say the best distance is, let's say the best distance was 500, right? And actually, we just get this from the player. There's nothing to do with, because we have the current distance already, right? So what we say here is, this is a distance, right? So this is a distance target. So we need to fix this a bit, right? Because the distance target is just the distance, right? It's just the distance. I mixed up the total distance and the current distance. So this is the current distance counting up. And then up here we say if, well, basically we can say best distance is max of distance and best distance, right? And then we just say best distance result row set total to this, right? The other one will always be invisible technically. There's no reason to even show it. So we want this one here to, so this just starts from 0 and transfers these. And then as soon as this gets bigger than this, this will also count up, right? At least that is the plan. Let's see what happens, right? So I don't care about coins. I want distance, right? So this should start moving and this should move along with this, right? Because the best distance, why was the best distance 0? We didn't initialize the best distance to 0, right? We did not initialize the best distance. We said the best distance is 500, right? We said the best distance is 500. Why? Oh, because the value we calculate here, maybe we should use it. It was a long day, but we want to push hard and keep the momentum going, right? So let's do this. Okay, coins, distance, kill, right? So this should never change because this value will never be higher than 500, right? So we didn't beat our high score. I mean, maybe if this value changes, it should cast fireworks or something, but overkill. Oh, I wanted to actually beat my distance. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Come on, Unity. I didn't do anything. I just... Right, let's get above 500. So we count up the coins, we count up this, and then at some point the best value should drag along with it, right? And that is what we want. That is what we want, and then we're just going to fix the total distance as well. And we could have the distance replicated in all three here, right? But, and then have them staggered as well, but it's the same value, so it shouldn't be credited multiple times in different time zones, right? So what we want is total distance target. Distance target, right? And the total distance target, that's why I kept this line here, right? And we're going to clean this up a bit. Total distance target is the start distance, which we get from the player, right? Plus the distance. And now I could have just retyped that, to be fair. And then here we just say we have the same code, right? So we have this, and this is total distance, right? Total distance is and this is total distance result row set, and obviously we set the correct value here, right? And if we press play now, play now, play now, play now. Come on, Unity, don't make my life miserable. I'm looking forward to implementing this in GDScript, to be honest. But, okay. So, coins, 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 distance, 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 I kill. And as soon as this starts moving, this should start moving with it. And as soon as it gets bigger, this also moves with it, right? And that kind of feels, I mean, this is taking too long. This is taking too long, right? So we want the duration. And actually, let's do this the other way around, right? Let's say duration is 10 seconds and end time is plus duration. We just flip that around, right? And the duration we want to calculate, actually. duration, and this is from actual results, right? And probably so this we don't even need to set, right? So let's just wipe them all out. Let's just wipe them all completely off the map, right? Just to be sure. I mean, they will be updated in the update anyway. Just in case there's some junk from development or so in it. So this duration, right? I said, so we have coins, right? And basically we want the number of digit of coins, right? So number of digits in base 10, and that's probably the logarithm. Number of digits in number. I mean, we already know what to do, right? No, we're not counting. That's mass, right? Really? Wow. I mean, we can calculate it, right? It's just the logarithm. Yeah. Oh. Right, so 100, where's log 10 is 1. Wait. 100 log. Okay. 100 log 10. Oh, really, PDF? I thought, is my math so broken? So the logarithm of 10 is 1, of 100 is 2, right? And of 1,000 is 3. Why do it wrong when you can do it right, right? Oh, fair enough. Log. Oh. I want the... Now, this was not helpful. We know it's the right algorithm, right? So what if we just say the duration math log 10, no, log 10 of coins, right? So if you have 1 coin, it will take the problem is I want to show you, right? So the problem is, well, we have at least 1 coin, so that will be 0, right? that will be 0. So what we will do is we'll just cheat because we divide by this duration, right? And that's not good. So we just add a little bit. It doesn't even need to be a lot. Just a bit of, let's not make this 0, right? So now if we collect 10 coins, it should take 1 second, right? If we collect 10 or less coins, it should be round about 1 second. So let's collect 1 coin and kill, and it's instant, right? It's too fast. Maybe we should have a minimum duration. Maybe that's 0.1. We just say, okay, in any case, it should take half a second, right? But if we take 100 coins, it takes like 2 seconds. A little bit more. Let's do this again. Let's do exactly 100, right? 100 takes 2 seconds. 2 digits, 2 seconds. Let's do 1000. Right? And it takes about 3 seconds. And I just realized I can increase this before starting so we can get exact values. So this should take about 4 seconds. If I set this to 10,000, maybe I need a better cheat system. Coins! So this should take about, and we're talking about the total, right? Including the distance. This should take about 5 seconds. 4 seconds, 5. So higher values take longer, right? And maybe, just maybe, let's just so it becomes more obvious for testing, right? And maybe we even do that, and maybe we change the minimum to be 0.5 sec. I mean, it should be longer than the fade in, right? It fades in over 300 milliseconds, so it should still, it should not start before faded in fully. And we can stagger that on a timeline. We could have done that all with animators and stuff, but come on. I'm giving up on Unity. So we have 1 coin, right? So should take next to nothing. We still could see it move, right? We have 100 coins, right? So this takes, because we multiply by 10, about 10 seconds now, right? And maybe we just double the number. So let's do 1,000. So this is even slower now, right? It's a bit hard to see, but you can see that it's slower, but not 10 times as slow. And I kind of like this approach. So let's just say we don't do it by 10, but we double it, right? And these are values that a designer would put it on a slider in the editor and say, tweak your heart out. Tweak it till you cannot tweak it anymore. And play with the easing functions, and I don't care, right? We could even expose the easing functions in the editor, but let's not overdo it, right? We know we're done with this game. So 1,000 coins. Yeah, feels okay. Maybe it was a bit too fast even. But then you probably have more like 5,000 to 10,000 coins, right? After a successful run. I mean, I don't know. Balancing will be a different beast. I need a better cheat code. Maybe I should have an uppercase C for more. So, oh, we need to swim before we can kill, right? So it starts. That felt faster, to be honest. So let's do 500. 3, for 4 seconds. Let's do 5,000. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about double as long, which is expected. So maybe we make this even higher. And maybe we have add some anticipation here, right? Tweaking values till they feel kind of okay. I think we should just I mean, imagine you have an amazing run and this results screen goes on for like 10 minutes. I mean, could feel pretty nice, right? So I'm not going to clamp it and it will just go a little bit higher every time and not exponentially. So 1 coin, almost instant, right? And that's fair. You're not going to do 1 coin, right? You do 500 coins and that is bam. Reward, right? You have sounds, you have things going on, and you can click it away if you get bored by it. And then you have 5,000 coins, right? Should feel better than 500 coins, but not be like crazy long. Bam, my coins are counting and they're speeding up and they're slowing down towards the end again, right? I'm not sure if that slow down actually is working. That ease out feels broken. We could graph this now, right? We could output debugs of time to... We could just debug output the X and Y and then plot that in a chart. But I'm defining this as... I mean, this is a normal run, right? And this zone here in the beginning that we have is special. So we add some code so you get that once per day or something, right? This is the first zone you enter. You're not getting these basically 200 coins every run, right? And then coins are very scarce. So here's one. So having 1,000 coins is already a lot, right? Unless you're really good or play really long. So then you die and then you get this screen for like 2, 3, 4 seconds. And that feels good. That feels okay, right? That feels okay. I want to commit this. Right, so we're gonna commit this version because it's actually not a bad version, right? It's not a bad version, and I want to do redo the. I wish there was a default for editor and non-editor, but right, so we do this, and basically. The in-game settings we also set to 0, right? And then if we press play, let's just double check that we didn't break anything. It starts without the 1 frame results screen pop up, right? Which was a problem before. And these buttons still work as expected, and object reference not set to there was an arrow there, right? Oh, so if we start fresh, right? We get an error because we never set those values, but we're using them. So, okay, we're gonna cheat, right? So we're getting a lot of errors. And because this is null, right? So what we're gonna do is if if coins gained is not null, right? We're going to do this. We constantly running the update. That was one protect. We could have a state, is this visible? But we just say, hey, if we have coins gained, we have them all in tandem, right? And if we fade out, we basically say coins gained equals null, right? We disable it again. I'm not sure. Thank you for breaking my formatting Unity. This auto-completion is so bloody broken. And now we just say we don't have the coins gained, east integer, right? So we don't do any update. And when the fish dies, we create it. Obviously 0 and 3 was a bad idea. And then we destroy it again, right? So we'll do a quick commit of this, because this looks good. I wish there was like something like format, like cargo format, right? And this will have lost that one file, but so. We're not done yet with that dialog, right? Unity polish result dialog. It's polishing, right? It's polishing. So we're going to say season 1, episode 19, polish result dialog in Unity. We updated the to-do. We added the cheat. Yeah, let's add coin and distance cheat. Must not forget to remove that, but we still need it for a while and we don't have a release build yet, so we will forget this, right? We added the coins target, distance target, total distance target, and best distance. And the best distance is not the target, it's the current best distance, right? So that's why it's not target. And we have these two east integers, and we have the float current running time, right? I think this we just delete. There was this we just delete, right? And actually, I'm not sure why Unity keeps doing this. I mean, we know what we're doing, right? Yeah, we know what we're doing. We wish. Right, so that we have the actual update and the display of the update, but we also have the preparation of it, right? And the new key, probably the result row should have a clear. Maybe the result row should have a clear, but and then we set it to null when we are in any other state, right? And we probably forgot the east integer matter, right? That was a small change, but I like it. So gonna press play. And then I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. After I add some coins. After I add some coins and some distance, just so you have something to look at. We start swimming. I want to add X to add an artificial coin explosion, to be honest. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? That Z fighting is annoying the hell out of me, and I I'm going to take a break. I'll be with you in a few seconds. So, do we really need to stream in 60 FPS? Maybe that's the problem. But we're not going to change the bitrate midstream. So obviously we have a problem, right? These numbers are nice, but they're not persistent, right? As a player, if I do the second run and get more coins, I don't want to start over, right? I want my old values there. And actually, we have the old value in the player. You have to be a bit tricky here. But, so, we have the old value in the player, right? We have the game manager. And I think, who owns the player? The game, right? The player, the game has a get player, right? The game has a get player. So what we could do is, and here we have to be very careful, right? So var player equals game.getPlayer. And then here we have start coins, right? And the start coins is basically player.coins. What are you auto-completing? And we don't have that getter yet, right? We have the coins at the last distance, but we don't have the getters for that. So we just add them, right? So public UN32. Right? And then I just copy that 3 times because we have last distance, total distance, best distance, right? So we have last distance, total distance, and best distance, right? And obviously this is best distance, total distance, and last distance. Last distance. Okay, be my guest. But here we can get player coins and player dot. I think this is total distance, what we want here. Right, and this is player dot best distance. Yes, you can. We're cheating here a bit with types, right? But the ranges are pretty safe. So now we show the player stuff, right? But the player stuff right now is, if I start, it's serialized correctly, but it's always maybe it should have been along from the start, but 32 bits, 64 bits, 16 bits. I mean, 65,000 coins. Maybe it should have been EU in 32. We're kind of, it will not blow up. It will blow up. It will blow up, and then we remember that we said it will not blow up, right? So I play, right? And I get killed, and yeah, our starting values are all 0 because I wish this number could be aligned to this number, to be honest, but either we add spaces or an invisible M, and or have a third column for the value, but for the unit. So, and same old problem, right? So at some point we need to credit this to the player. And here it's I want actually this dialog, right? Once we got the values we needed, we say game.credit last run, right? The thing is, if the game manager applies it before, well, actually, the problem is we could just do it on game state changed, right? We can do it on game state changed, right? In game. So in game state changed, right? After we invoke the others, we say switch state, right? Case state dead, which means we just went dying, right? We just went dying. What if we have a private void credit last swim? Credit last swim, yeah. Last round, right? And then I don't need the braces here, so credit last swim, and then we just break, right? And default is do nothing. I want an explicit default because it highlights that we know that we are doing that, right? So it does nothing, but so what does credit last swim means? I mean, basically we need to coins is game manager coins, right? And distance is game manager current distance. So we have them safe, and we need to do this. Just technically we don't reset it, right? So that part is fine. And then we say basically player give coins, right? Give coins. We just give the player the coins, and let's implement that real quick because we had a coins, right? So what if we had a public void give coins, coins. I don't care, right? And this is basically coins plus equals coins, right? And then we have actually this is also EU in 32, right? And this is actually, let's call this apply distance, right? Because it does more than adding it. So, and it says best distance is the mass F. Yeah, is the mass the best, right? Total is this. And the last distance is just the distance, right? So then in the game, we can say give coins and player apply distance. And yes, I'm willy-nilly casting. Thank you for not doing the one auto-completion I need, right? the one auto-completion I want, it doesn't do. So we do this after this invoke, so everybody who wanted the old state can get the old state, right? And this is obviously not pirate, this is private. And then be credited, right? And technically, we should actually... technically, we should do this, right? We have a take, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second, right? So where's coins? Where is coins? Right, so it still will not be atomic, right? But var c equals coins and coins equals 0, and then we return c, right? And then we have, actually we have this, right? Well, and then we say distance equals 0, right? We take it away, right? This is still not atomic, but from the outside, it's more clear what we're doing, right? And probably we should use the getter here, but that seems like overkill. So basically, the game, when the player dies, credits the last swim by taking the coins from the game manager and taking the current distance and giving it to the player and applying the distance. And if it crashes here, then you just lost your last run. Sorry. There are ways to protect it, right? We could have like a counter, like a vector that says, hey, I took 5 here and only applied 4, and if there's a discrepancy. But if we crash exactly somewhere here, then so be it, right? And maybe we could even make it less risky, right? We could even make it like this. Then you have half applied run, but again, it has to crash exactly here, and that's very unlikely. It's possible, so always decide. Note, if we have a crash here, well, the thing is, if we crash anywhere, we lose the progress anyway, right? So there's no difference. If we would regularly serialize the game manager, we could keep our state, and maybe we'll do that in the future, but not for this version, right? So let's see how this is going. So we should start with 0. And maybe there should be a screen that shows your numbers, but there wasn't in the original game, so we're not going to add that. I'm running a bit low on time, so I just swim and I kill, and I have 1 coin and 4 meters, right? So I'm going to start a new run. At 2 meters, I have 1 coin, 2 meters for the current run, 4 for the best, and 6 in total, right? So I start a new run. I managed to do 10 meters. I die. And this is too fast, right? This is counting up too fast because we only have 1 coin. Maybe it should take, yeah, we do. But the value here is 1. The record is 11 meters, right? And this number changed to 0 because we took it away, right? Which makes sense because the screen says, yeah. Not sure if I like this or if I want the last number to stay here, but polishing. And then the total is 17 meters, right? And then I stop the game. And I'm just going to start the game again later. Later. Much later, because Unity decided you didn't do anything. Let's compile the game for you, right? So I take a swim, I die. And the values are not serialized because we didn't tell it to save, right? Remember the settings dialog? Whenever we change a value, we save the player, right? So after crediting in game, we need to save the player. Excuse me. So let's try this once. Actually, there's one more thing I want to tweak, right? And I can. Okay. So the thing is, in the result dialog, right, we take the coins here. But what if we have 0 coins and 100 meters, right? So let's say we take the max of coins and distance. So whatever is larger, the larger number will determine how long it takes, right? Which might mean the other one is running very slow, but so be it. Can we play now, Unity? Why is Unity importing the assets on every single start, right? Okay, we collect 2 coins and swim 10 meters and then we die, right? Well, we collected 1 coin and 10 meters, right? That works. We play again. And we swim 10 meters, and that should be like 4 seconds now for the counting. Right, so 1, 12, 12, 22. Right, and then we stop the game. We're done with the run, right? The player will likely stop in that screen. And then we start again. Then we start again. Then we start, then we start, then we start again. Well, why is it importing the assets on every start? I don't get it, right? And I just kill the fish instantly and it's not saved. So it's saving, right? Let's check we have the hex dump here, right? So that 3 here sounds like the 3 meters. Did we mess something up? We have 3 meters and 0 coins, right? So we have 3 threes. So the saving is working. The saving is working. So let's die again. And now we should have 15 there, which is, F. Right, let's do the hex dump again. And this is F, and the last run is 18. So 18 is the total, and then we have an F again, right? So that's 18 is 1 is 16 plus 2 is 1, 2 in hex, right? So that's correct. So the saving worked. The saving worked, right? The question is, we are loading, right? So when I start, oh, wait, are we loading? Do we have a copy of the player by accident somewhere? Oh, wait. So we loaded, right? Because these settings are off. Didn't we implement the serialization fully? Oh yes, remember we had the load copy hack here, right? I mean, and this is ugly. I wish there was, we could overload the assignment operator. Let's use the coins last distance total best distance, right? Last total best. Last total. Right, so we just copied these 4 values here. These 4. Coins, last, total, best, and play. We were reading them, but we're not using them. So in our save game, while Unity is playing with itself, we have the 18 and 05, right? 15. And now Unity plays again. What is this pile of junk? Iteration speed in Unity is abysmal. I mean, in that time, I would have compiled my whole Rust engine from scratch. So let's die, and now we see the old values are persisted, right? And so here's one thing I want to try, and call me crazy, right? Call me crazy, but we have the old fish, right? And we have the old player, and the player has a save. And it is a saving player, so I want to try something very, very dodgy, right? So we're going to play the old version. I'm going to play the old version. Let's swim a little. Let's swim a little and connect some coins. And wonder why the audio settings are not, sound settings are not working, right? We have a few coins. And kill, right? So we have like 3,000 coins and 2,000 meters. And 134 is our best, right? So we're saving player to here. All right, so hex dump -c. Do you see what I see? These files should be compatible, right? So, okay, I see something here which is dodgy because so the bytes are correct, right? But the UN16 is flipped for some reason. And that is the version header. So why? No. So high is the shifted value and low is the unshifted value, right? And we serialize high first and then low. I think we did the serializer the wrong way around. So U16, right? High is the shifted value and low is the unshifted value. High is the shifted value, right? High is the shift, but we serialize in the other direction. But we should be we should be writing like this, right? But then we also need to be reading like this. And high is the shifted value, obviously, and low is the unshifted value, right? So high is the... So, but that breaks the zones, right? Let's see. We serialize this zone. This is the object ID, right? And the object ID, are we using that anywhere? I don't think we're using that, right? So this is fine. So here we serialize the object count, which is weird, right? I mean, technically, I would expect that was a goal, right? To have these two files to be compatible. But in that case, I don't understand. I mean, this uses the same code, right? And the object count is... So the problem is... if we fix this, right, and fix this, the zones will be broken. But why? And probably the same here, right? We write low to high for the 632, and here we write high to low. Right? A is high because we shift the most, and we write high to low, and here we write low to high. So, and that also is used in the... I mean, we use this all over the place, right? For the magic, okay. For the magic, okay, I kind of get that, because something is weird with endianness. So, question: why are the zones working at all? We are using the same zone files, right? So and we read a U8 and write a U8, right? So why? That does not make any sense, right? I want to look into the Godot serializer real quick. Scripts. Nope. So serialize U16, right? We go low high as well. So just like Unity, right? We go... Oh, ignoring this change I made, right? That was just... We're going low high. Going low high. But what I don't understand, right? And here we also going low high. And I remember that we had a problem with that, and our F32s also used the U32, right? So So that behavior is correct. What I don't understand is, right, this zone loader here. So let's say this is a checksum of the zone. And this, for example, is the Unity as streaming assets, streaming assets, zones, and there's the right. These two files are identical, so this loader can load them. Here's my cargo toml. Oh. Bad idea. This is using OML game 32 alpha, right? Maybe we're on the wrong branch here. Oh, this is Fiiish, right? We wanted to look at the serializer. Sorry, my bad. So this is 37 alpha, right? And this is serializing high-low. How is that possible? We have writing and reading a U8. Where are we doing the endianness swap? What am I missing? What am I missing? I mean, it's working, but the file formats are not interchangeable, right? But the zone files are interchangeable. So why do they work while... Here, right? Here we have a U16. We expect this magic, right? For F53. And the same, well, let's not do this here. Let's do this here, right? Same here. For F53. And that's the first byte in the file, right? So if I do a hex dump -c and just do a hat and 10 lines. F534F. Rust, Apple, Silicon, endianness. Use little endian. Unity C# endianness. Again, it shouldn't matter because we're writing bytes, right? That's why we're writing, but I still don't get it. So the layer count, right? We serialize the layer count. We serialize the layer count, right? For, do we have the name at this point already? We do already have the name, right?
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
Where is my brain stuck? What's the thing where my little marble in my head is getting stuck in the junk? What? Because we had that, we wrote the correct code and then had to fix it to. Oh, I don't know why I keep doing that dollar thing, to be honest. I mean, we can do the same here, right? We can say load and then say print line. And yes, we were still using print line here. This is, do we have a name already? We have self.name, right? We have the name and the layer count. This is self.name. Right, so how? Actually, let's say layer count here, right? And we grab for layer count, right? So obviously that is working because otherwise nothing would work, right? So okay, my bad. Let's keep it quiet and just get the layer count. Oh, obviously, if you mistype it, you have to mistype it in all places. What is going on, right? So 655535555, right? So this is, let's press play here and just see the warnings. So bytes are correct and U and 16s are wrong. mean, we could just switch it around, but there's something weird. Right? So 5, 6, 2 in the start. Did we have a 2? We don't have the start layer here because we don't load that, right? It's one of the blocked errors. But let's say tunnel has only 3 layers. So tunnel has only, so that obviously works, right? And the data files are the same. So I assume, assumption, right? Assumption. This thing here is correct. And this ensures we never have a mix-up between reading and writing order, right? That's probably, I mean, that's the switchless way of doing it, right? We serialize and deserialize anyway. This is definitely high to low, right? And this is definitely low to high, right? Definitely. So I want to, is it just .NET endianness? The hardware. Yeah, a little endian, right? So little endian means we write high, we end with little, right? So this serializer that ends with high has to be wrong. But why? Can I load the zone file then? All the zone file loading should be broken unless are we loading the what does load file do? Are we doing something stupid in load file? What does read do? What does read do? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Read bytes. Buffer an array of bytes. So this is doing nothing to the bytes, right? So if I steal this code here and put it in the player load just for right here we have the file. So well, actually I do it in serializer load file, right? Actually I do it here. And we just do the first 32 bytes, right? Let's see the hex dump real quick for the player data, right? So that's 16 bytes each line. So we're gonna do if I%16 equals 0. Oh, wait. Okay, let's do it differently, right? Let's have a string hex equals nothing. And then we say hex plus equals data to string formatted as X. And here we say hex plus equals new line, right? And then we just do a debug.log, basically the hex string, right? I'm not 100% happy with that, but and actually let's log this as a warning, right? Just so we can find it easier and have to recompile once more. So I think this is a problem I have to sleep on. I mean, it's working, right? But it doesn't feel right. Our serializer has to be wrong. Or player. Our player starts with 4F4D, right? And the line break is in the wrong place. And this is our player, right? This is our player, and actually let's add a trailing space and line break on a different space, right? At least the player is the last one that makes it easier. I just wonder if the read file does something strange, but it shouldn't, right? Why is this zone handling working? The player I could just wrap around, right? If I fix it for the loader and the saver. And that, and I don't know. So 4F, 4D, and then 4830, right? 4830, and then on the new line 0015, right? On the new line 0015. So the loading, the file loader doesn't change the order, right? But this is definitely big endian what we created here. And I don't understand why. Okay, let's look into one of the zone files, right? Can we actually, will it actually give us a hex dump if we open this? Can you just open this as a binary file and give me a hex dump? Okay, if you're not helpful, then you're gonna do it differently, right? So this is a zone file, right? This is a zone file, and we're gonna use the serializer CS. Actually, we're gonna use the new zone CS, right? So somewhere here, we load the magic, which is this, right? And in the file, there's where the twist comes from, right? Our header is wrong. And then the version should be this, but the version is this, right? So our zone files somehow are big endian. Our zone files are definitely big endian, right? So our converter is doing the right thing. So, and then we have version, and then we have the 4.6 something to the 4e, right? So the 4.6 something to the 4.6.5a.4e till here, right? And then we have the flag, which is at 45, which is this one, right? Which is correct. And then we have the chunk version, which is, this is definitely big endian, right? Because this is 2. And then we have a 64-byte fixed string with a lot of zeros at the end. So I assume it ends here, right? And then we have a difficulty, which is a U16, which again here is big end. It's definitely big endian, right? Our zone files are definitely big endian. And then we have the size, which is F32, right? So this is an F32. Do we hex to float IEEE? Oh, fair enough, right? Let's enable JavaScript temporarily. Oh, wait, we want 4540, right? And then the zeros. And this is 3072. So this is definitely endianness swapped. And then we have the size Y, right? This which is this. So let's do 8044 4 zeros. 8044 1 2 3 4. Eighty 44 4 zeros. Did we? No. 80 44 1 2 3 4. This is a weird value. And then we have the layer count, right? And that's a 5. And that is definitely big endian. So the zone files are definitely big endian. Why are the zone files big endian? I still don't have access to the tools, right? Which is a bit sad. So the zone file is big endian. That's why we had to patch the converter, right? That's why these here. Wait, can you just, this is why this here, the serializer, is loading big endian, because we worked on the zone files, right? But the safe game, right? The safe game is definitely little endian. So this here is somehow loading big endian, right? And this here is somehow saving and loading little endian. Right, because this version here is definitely little endian, and we're using the, where's the version? We're using serialize U16. So that's interesting. Ah. So this is definitely doing little endian, right? So this is correct. So the question is, why can this load the zone? I mean, we just open the file, right? And then, oh. This is not using the serializer. This is using the Rust default. This is a Rust file, right? Is it? Is it default file system? Default file system. So system, right? So right, this gives us a file system, and this file system can open file streams, right? So let's go here, and this and this is reading low high, right? So zone files are actually big endian, probably for historic reasons, and for what the hell was I thinking here, right? What the hell was I thinking here? Probably very, I mean, big endian systems, right? I just want an overview of, okay, probably big endian network order, right? Because the save files were, the save files actually were network order, right? Because network order is big endian. Networking, right? Because networking order of bytes on network, and that is big endian, right? So everything on internet is big endian. That's why the zone file was big endian. And that's why the save file is big endian. And that basically means the serializer we use here, right? This serializer here is serializing little endian, right? We little begin, end, little, high, low, right? And same here, starts, this is serializing little endian, while our file format is big endian. So new code works correctly, old code is broken, but we never realized it. Because we didn't use the serializer for the zones, right? We don't use this is not the serializer. This is the file reader. We should have used the serializer, and then we would have realized, oh, wait a second, right? So this serializer is broken. This serializer is broken for our use case, right? You might argue, well, just use little endian file format on the, just use little endian file format, right? Just use little endian file format, but big endian is better because network, it doesn't really matter because we serialize byte-wise anyway, but that's the reason why the old save files are not compatible with the new save files. And we probably should fix that at some point. I mean, we could we could pull some magic, right? We could pull some magic because we check the magic, right? We check the magic. We do check the magic. And if the magic is the opposite, we could just tell the serializer. So we could do this, right? And do a check for 534F and could realize by that, hey, endianness flip, and could tell the serializer, hey, please flip the endianness, right? But I don't care so much about compatibility to the old Rust version for the save files, but I want compatibility to the Godot version, and in the Godot version, right, in the serializer GD, oh no, syntax highlighting for GD script, sorry about this, but what is data? It's a packed byte array. GD script packed byte array. What's the endianness? We use what? We use decode U16, right? Decode U16. It doesn't tell us the endianness, so we probably, since we were able to, right, we use serialize U16 in new zone GD, right? Where do we do this? Scripts, new zone resource loader, right? Here this works, so the endianness seems to be correct. I mean, it doesn't match the... If the bomb is missing, system endianness is assumed. Okay. So danger lurking here. It does work, right? It works with the 4F53 and all the others, like the chunk version. Oh, the chunk version is bad, but the difficulty is also bad. But the layer count, right? It works for the layer count and the object count. And so, okay. Big endian on disk, right? Big endian on disk. That is the solution. So I forgot where we were. I mean, I want to there's still, so I want a new line here just for clarity, right? Let's just give me that. Give me that. Give me that. If Unity lets me. Big endian files. Big endian files. Interesting. Very interesting. The serializer for OML game is broken. Right, so that looks kind of better now. So I'm left with that. But again, if I... Can I get that one coin? Can I get a few coins, right? If I get a few coins and die now, it will remember the old state. Well, we have 10 coins now, right? So, and 40 meters total. Let's get 100 more coins. So we have 110 coins and we have saved now. So if I start again, we should have like 111. Was it 111 coins? 110 coins? Why? What is Unity doing? We didn't touch the code. We stopped and started. It should just say, yeah, I'm starting the old binary for you, right? I don't. So we have 110 and 40. So that works, right? And it's sadly not interchangeable with old Rust Fiiish because the serializer in the Rust version is broken. Ooh. Interesting. And if you keep digging, you always find the problem, right? You just have to. That I'm wondering, is this actually showing images? Okay, that's a start, right? Wow. Here, right? To do. Unity save player progress. And with that, I would say save load is done in Unity and the result dialog is done for now. We can make it nicer. I want to add one thing here, right? Improve dash cleanup, etc. Just so we don't forget, right? Because oh, if I press play, it's going to load again, right? Ah! Isn't it a nice day? Isn't it a nice day? Isn't it a very, very nice day to wait for this? I should do one screenshot of these whenever I'm waiting for them. So the thing I currently don't like is, right, you have coins falling and you kill. The coins falling down is fine, but I want the background, the elements to disappear. Either move away or fade out, I don't care. But something. They shouldn't just plop out, right? Plopping is, even if they just fade out on destroy, that would be fine with me. But they shouldn't just, at the desk takes forever, right? The moment this is counted down, I should respawn again. Yeah, so if I die here, I kind of want the things to move. And that was that to-do I just wrote, right? But I didn't push this. I wanted to push this and I didn't press enter apparently. What did we do? Save player progress in Unity, right? And suddenly we have a game. This is a game now. It's still not looking perfect. So we credit the last swim and that's actually pretty easy, right? That was a change. We take the coins from the game manager and we take the current distance. We want it and reset it in one go. That log warning in the new zone will be gone, right? The new zone. We have a log warning there somewhere. We don't need that. And then the player, we copy over the missing values that we forgot. We have a give coins, which increases the coins. We will have a take coins later, which says, or spend coins or whatever. We applying the distance, which increases total, best, and last distance. We have getters for all the variables, all the members. We get the player, and actually we take the time of the longer ones, which is fine. We have the start coins and distance and best distance from the player actually. And in the serializer CS, we have some debug function, which I want to keep there, but for now, just disable, right? We made the debug a bit nicer. And then that's it. progress. We made some progress, and with that, I'm gonna play a bit of Fiiish if Unity lets me. If Unity lets me do that. If Unity lets me do that. Can I press play now, please? Please. What is it doing? What is it doing? So, thanks for being here. We made a lot of progress. I think we're kind of almost back on track again. I started to prepare the Steam page for this. I need a halfway, I'm half big setting as well, right? I wish I could set 3 settings. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking through this with me. I'm Antti. I want you to stay safe, and I see you when I see you. Bye-bye.